Hello everyone, welcome to problem solving tutorial. This is me Mahir. Today we'll be solving UVA Online Judges 2007 50 number problem, keep Rafa at Chelsea. In this problem at first there is a problem description which I believe you'll find funny if you read that. But basically the real part starts from here where it says that we will be given a series of match results. The match result can be either win, which is denoted by capital W, or lose, which is denoted by capital L, or draw, which is denoted by capital D. If Chelsea, the football club which we are talking about in this problem statement, this is the club that we'll be working on, and if these are the match results of Chelsea Football Club, and if they don't if they don't win 3 consecutive matches, their coach will be sacked instantly. Their coach Rafa. Our job is to figure out how many games will the coach Rafa last at Chelsea. So in problem statement, at first we will take the test case number as input. Then for each test case we will take the number of games played, that is small n, and for each game there will be the game's result. It's either capital W or capital L or capital D. Capital W is for win, capital L is for lose, and capital D is for draw. We have to print case X, Y, where X is the case number and Y is either the number of games Rafa last at Chelsea, or a line. If Rafa gets sacked after all, there will be an integer that says how many games he will persist, and if he can keep his job till the last game, then it will say yeah, mighty Rafa persists. Okay, let's look at the problem sample input output for more explanation. In our sample input, at first we are taking 3, which is the test case number. Then for the first test case, we are taking 5, which is the number of games played. In this game, in the next 5 lines, we can see that the first game is an L, that means a loss, then D, that means draw, then again L. So for 3 consecutive games, Chelsea haven't won a single match. So Rafa will be sacked right after this game. So he will persist for 3 games. So the output for the first test case will be 3. Then for the second test case, there will be 6 games in total. At first it's L, then D, then W. Since, well, Chelsea haven't got a victory for 2 matches consecutively, but in third match they have got a victory. So Rafa will still be the coach after 3 games. Then there are 3 L's consecutively. So there are no victory for 3 consecutive games. So he will be sacked right after this match. So he will be coaching for 6 games. So this will be the output for case 2, that is 6. For third case, however, there are 2 draws at first but a win in the third game, and since only first n matches count and n was 3, and in first 3 games Rafa doesn't get sacked, so we will just output yeah, mighty Rafa persists. Okay, so how do you solve this problem? Well, the approach is simple. We'll keep track of how many match has already been played without any win. If we find a win, we will just make that variable 0. Well, if we get anything other than win, we will just increment that variable. We will see if that variable crosses 3 or not. If it reaches 3, then we will just print the number of games Rafa has persisted, and after n game, if that variable never becomes 3, then we will print Yay Mighty Rafa persists. So let's get into coding. At first we'll be taking the test case number as input. For each test case, at first we will take n, which is the number of games. Now we will run the loop for n times. Each line will be taking the game description as input. Now what we are going to do is, if to keep track of the consecutive non-wins, we'll use a variable CNT. Initially it will be 0. If CH, the match result, is not a win, we'll increment the CNT value by 1. Then we will check if CNT is 3 or not. If it's 3, then Rafa has lost the match, and the result will be, which will initially be -1. The result will be the number of games he has played, that means I. Okay, and here is, okay, so if it's not, if it's a win, that means, well, let's put all these inside the case where it is a win. If it's not a win, what we will be doing is we'll make count equal 0. Okay, so here is another thing that we'll be doing. So what it does now is, if it's not a win, then we will increment the CNT variable, and if CNT is equals to 3, then we will make race as I. That means the number of games he has already played. But what happens is, after getting sacked, there are some wins which makes CNT 0. Well, we won't be updating race after one update. That means if he is sacked, then he is sacked. He can't be playing any more games. So we have to do something which will keep race getting updated afterwards if there are again 3 consecutive non-wins. So what we have to do is, we have to keep a check here that if CNT is equals 3 and CNT is equal to -1, that means he hasn't been sacked before. Then we will update race 1. So now we will check if race is equals to -1 or not. If race is equals to -1, then we will print Mighty Rafa persist. If it's not, then we will print the value of race. So basically what's happening here is, at first we are taking the text number as input, then we are taking the number of games played as input, then for each game we will be taking the match result. If the result is not a win, then we will increment CNT. If CNT is equals to 3, and if Rafa hasn't been sacked before, then we will update the race variable as I. That means number of games he is now in. And if CH is W, that means if it's a win, then we'll make CNT 0. Now we are printing result. We are checking if result is -1, we will that means if Rafa hasn't been sacked, then we'll print yay mighty Rafa persist. If he's sacked, we'll print the value of race. Okay, let's print, check is correct or not. My antivirus causing trouble. Let's run it again. Okay, so what's happening here actually? Let's give input for individually for all the cases. For 3, 5, L, T. Yeah, here is what's happening. Although there are 5 inputs, well, it should be taking 5 numbers as input, but however it's not working that way. So where we are doing wrong, well, here is it. Well, while we are taking n as input, after taking n as input, we are pressing an enter, and after taking n as input, we are taking a character as input later on. So while we are pressing enter after taking input of n, our compiler will take that enter as the next character input. That's what causing the problem. So to get rid of that, we'll be using getChar function. Basically, it will take the extra enter as input, and it will keep the match result safe. It is same for the match result input. While we are taking a character L or D or W as input and we are pressing enter, that enter will be taken as next match results, next character's input. So we can get rid of that by adding another getChar after each character input. Now let's check if it's giving correct output or not. Okay. 3, 5, L, D, L, D, W. It's giving correct output of 3. Let's copy and paste the next results. Yeah, it is correct. It says 3, 6 and yay mighty Rafa persist. But here is another problem. It's saying case 4. So what we have done wrong? Yeah, we've added an extra 1. I don't know why I have done that. And there was an extra space too. Okay, so I guess let's run it again, just to make sure that there is nothing wrong with it. Well, it seems okay. So let's submit the code and check if it's correct. Well, it is accepted. So our approach was correct. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.